Okay. Next ranking for going commando, we have the enemies. Um, this is the. I mean, it's only the second game, but this is when they start being like, "Hey, we're gonna have multiple versions of the same enemies." I think in the first round. Oh, I had to redo these, by the way, because um, yeah, because Opera just shut down and lost everything. So W Opera GX. Um, I think the first level we actually get these guys, which I mean they're fair. They're fair for the first round. They're nothing too crazy. We get them and these. These are a good starting enemy. Um, and these, yeah, I'd put in B. I mean, they're nothing too crazy. You also get the flame ones. Where's the fire ones? Well, here's two of them, but this is like level. Oh, here we go. They're pretty much the same. The blade ball, obviously, it's kind of an OG, like one hit enemy or like a level 1 enemy. Obviously, the blade balls get a little more intense, maybe. But yeah, the chainsaw bots, the chainsaw bots, is that just what they're called? And the flamethrower bots, the megacorp ones, the level 1 ones are fine. I mean, it's literally, I think they only appear in Aranos on that first level. Oh wait, no, maybe they appear in, yeah, they actually appear at Makatar. But they're not bad. There's something, they're simple, nothing too crazy. I gotta pull up these ones here. The Muck Dweller from Uzla, kind of annoying. Yeah, they're not great, and I mean the Mutant Firefly is a bad starting enemy. So they're kind of just mid. Maybe I'll change this up here. Going with Ratchet and Clank 3 onwards, because I already have them set up for Ratchet and Clank 2. What are these things called? The other Uzla enemies? Ooh, what are they called though? Had to pull up my little list here. Oh, just the Swamp Beast. I actually think these are fun. They're a good, bigger enemy. They're nothing too crazy, and they're satisfying to kill, in my opinion. I'm gonna put them in a high B. And Daco has the sweepers. These guys, they don't add value. They actually, I think they add value to the map they're in. So I'll put them here. They're nothing too hard. Ooh, the sweeper bots. Yeah, the sweeper bots suck. Again, this is kind of on par with the Ratchet and Clank 1 Zap guys. They're just annoying, and they work like a Roomba, so like they hit every corner, so they're hard to really control where they're going. They are a level 1, but I think they're just annoying. Kind of with the Firefly bots, to be honest. Maybe a little bit better than the Fireflies. These, what are these called? Yeah, just the laser bot. They're okay. Nothing too crazy. We do get... Oh, here we go. What is this guy called? The Rivet Bot. I think this is a fun, bigger enemy. And I think they're unique enough for literally the only level they're in. I kind of wish we saw more of them, but we don't really. I'm going to put them at the top of A because I think they are a fun enemy. 100%. I could be wrong, though. They could suck completely, and I'm just... Who knows? What else is in Endako? I don't think there's any other enemy in Endako. At least none that I can think of. Yeah, no. I can't think of another Endako enemy. But then we move on to Barlow. It's our first run-in with the pirates. Let's go ahead and talk about the Sour Beast, the Barlowian Sour Beast. Or Sour Beast. These guys are annoying. I think the Barlowian ones are a little better, though. I think they're a good challenge. I think a nice, decent dodge is fine with them. Actually, I think they work well on Barlow, too. As well as the Barlow, the pirate guys. What are they called? Oh, the tribesmen. Vukovor tribesmen. I like the Vukovor tribesmen. I think they're a cool enemy. They're fun. They gang up on you. They're intimidating. I would put them right here. I'd put them right here. I don't know how many. I don't really know if we're gonna get any enemies in S. But or no, we will. We 100% will. I know what enemies are going in F. But yeah, they're neat enough. Okay, I thought someone knocked on the door. Oh, we forgot Maktar Resort, which has the gladiators. Keep thinking someone's coming in. It has the gladiators and the thugs for less, as well as these guys here. What are they called? The Megacorp Chicken Bot. They're okay, the Chicken Bots. They're kind of just on par. I'll put them here. Yeah, I'll put them here. But we also get the thugs for less guys. The thugs for less brutes. They're fun. I actually enjoy the brutes. I'm gonna go ahead and just put them. Ooh, we got a lot of people in B. Would I consider them A? I probably would. Why am I listening to an electrolyzer puzzle? There we go. Jeez. I'll put them in A. I think they're an A-tiered enemy. Who else comes up in Maktar Resort? I think it's just those two that are at least new to Maktar. Yeah, it's just those two. And the Chicken Bot, of course. Okay. Yeah, that looks about right. After Maktar, it's Endako. And then we have the spaceflight enemies, which, I mean, honestly, ooh, no, I was gonna say I might categorize them differently, but no, I don't think I would, actually. Because 100% some of these absolutely do suck. These guys are okay. They're kind of just on par with these one-hit enemies. Ooh, these guys make the fighting missions a little more fun, because it actually makes you focus on what you're shooting on. So I'm gonna put these guys here. I'll put them next to these guys. Yeah, that's nice. The red fighters. I'm gonna say the purple fighters are also go here, but the red fighters are kind of just maybe a little bit better than the green fighters. What are these things? The space swaps. The space swaps are okay. Space wasps are okay. I don't think they're better than these. Actually, you know what? I would say they are. They bring good challenge. The saboteurs. Honestly, the saboteurs. You get the nuke when you start fighting the saboteurs. I don't think they add any value to what these three already add as better enemies, I'll put them at the bottom of B. Yeah, that makes sense. The bottom of B is good. Yeah. I like that. That makes sense. I think around this time we start seeing the green, the new blade bots, the version 2s. Oh yeah, we definitely see the version 2s because we're getting into Joba. Or no, we're skipping hella levels. We got to start with Siberius because we get the version 2s of these guys. I think they're perfect. Honestly, they're kind of the same. These guys perfectly match each other with their version 1s based on the level they're in. So yeah. Oh, I forgot the gladiators from Maktar Resort. Very basic enemies, nothing to write home about. But I've got to put them in S tier. They're just they're a fun enemy. They're better than these guys. I think they're good for the planet they come from, which is, I guess, just Maktar. I think they're a fun enemy. Now going forward, now we can move on to we're on Siberia. Or Siberius. Yeah, I think it's really just adds these guys and the blue blade bots. Or the purple blade bots. Or, Jesus Christ, the green blade bots. Or blade balls. These guys, they're not, I don't think they're as fun to fight as the red ones. I would say a high B. Ooh. I'll put right here. We are not listening to this. There we go. Okay, I was like, Ratchet Clank 2 had so many freaking movies, dude. Movies. Articles of soundtrack? I don't know if that's right. Okay. Where are we? We are on enemies from Siberius. Actually, I think we're moving on from Siberius now. We would have already attacked the Protopet. And we would go to... Oh, we didn't do Canal City. The ships, they're okay. Honestly, they're not that great. They're kind of mid. Yeah, the dropships aren't that good. They're so easily defeatable. So that's why I have them here. That might change though, but I'm gonna put them here for now. The Thugs for Less Soldier, right? Is that what they're called? Just the Thugs for Less Soldier. Oh, Henchman. The Henchman, I think, like I said, the Thugs for Less. This is probably the better Thugs for Less villain. I think they're fun. I like their weapons a lot better than these guys' weapons. I think they add more. I guess it's a lot more random when you're fighting them. I actually think they're greater than these guys here. Actually, I'm going to move these guys up past the spaceships. Maybe this guy in front of the two-handed revolver guy. Let's see. That pretty much covers Canal City. There's the spider bots. When did these guys actually appear in the game? Do I really not know when the spider bots appear? Bro doesn't know what's supposed to be his favorite game. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Uh, um, these guys aren't the spider bots. What are you talking about? Yes, okay, I know they're not the spider bots. I ain't stupid. I know they're not the spider bots. They are just spiders that happen to also be robots. I don't remember what level they're in. Don't worry, I'll find it out soon. Oh god, this is embarrassing. Yeah, they're called the Nidbot, not the Spider Bot. The Nidbot is a part of Megacorp. Oh, I'm such a moron. The Nidbot is on Joba, but we haven't even gone to Tabora yet. So let's knock out Tabora. Obviously the mutant fireflies come back from Joba. We have these guys here. Oh man, what are they called? Oh, the desert dune monster. The dune monster. They're cool. I actually love the dune monsters. Yeah, I like the dune monsters. We'll put them here. I think they're good for the level. The dune spitters, though, I don't think they're as fun. Or actually, you know what? They are pretty fun. The mutant fireflies are just the worst part of the level, I would say. These guys aren't too bad. Couple hit kills. What can you do? The spawners, I'm just going to put here at the bottom. They do literally nothing but spawn more. That's all of the enemies on Tabora. Yeah, that's literally all of them. And then going to Dobo, we finally get our first glimpse of these Megacorp guys. Just the Megacorp Trooper. The version 1s are these ones here. I'm going to put an S tier. I think they're a fantastic enemy. I'm going to put them... They're my favorite enemy so far. I think they're a good improvement off the Commandos from the first Ratchet Clank. I think they're like a Commando and a Paratrooper, but they're not as annoying as the Paratroopers, and they're easier to maneuver around. So the Megacorp Trooper I'm going to put here. However, going for the other things in Dobo, I'm going to have to step back a little bit because these are pretty much the same as the ones from Ratchet Clank 1. Which, honestly, they're not as eventful in this game. I'm going to put it at a bottom C. They're not as fun and a lot more easier to avoid in this game. They're almost just kind of a backstep. The Joba tank. I don't think the tanks are fun in either of the missions they appear. I'm gonna just put right here with the plane. I think they just don't add too much. The Megacorp vehicles really just aren't it, in my opinion. I don't think they're as fun to roam around and play with. I think these are the only two things. Oh wait, no, we have the red ones too. These ones, nah, they're pretty much the same. Yeah, I think the version 1s are a little bit better. And then moving on to the disposal center. So we have the rogue bot. We have the rogue bot. I'll put next to the saboteur, because like I said, you probably have upgraded to the nuke or you're close to it. And these guys will just one tap an entire nuke. We'll go ahead and fix this. There we go. Right. And then moving on to Oh, here it is. The drones that are on, like the little, what are these things called? Like genuinely. The Berserker repair bots are what we just did. I need to really organize these things via like what level they appear in. Because yeah, other than that, they it's just the hover turret. They're too easy to fight. They're almost useless, completely useless. I would actually say it's probably the worst flying enemy because they do nothing. But yeah, after that, oh yeah, these things are on Dobo too. Again, also I'm just gonna put them in F. These things just do nothing. They do nothing for you, and they're useless. In fact, I'll probably put these guys in F. The floating spaceships too. Like, they're just not good enemies in general. They're not mid. They're not challenging. They're just there. Moving on to Joba. These guys, I'm gonna put in F tier. Oh, the fall from grace from how they were in Barlow. They're too annoying and too impeding. I actually don't think they're a good inclusion to the Megacorp games at all. I think there could have been another heavy enemy that would have been thrown in that could be a lot better. And it's an enemy we don't see too often of. They just aren't fun in the Megacorp games. I actually think we'll move on to, I'll mention the character I think would be better here. But first, we got these guys. Like I said, the bots, they level up with how they are. They kind of stay the same. They're rightfully ranked. I think they're a good enemy, regardless of all of them. The flame bots are the only ones that realistically change because they have like one just shoots a flamethrower around, one shoots a fireball. They change, but I think their rating is good. Oh my god, I did forget an enemy. I forgot a Barlow enemy. It's the Hound of Cuddly Death. These are fun. The Hound of Cuddly Death is a fun enemy. Sorry, there's just so many enemies. I'm having a hard time keeping up. Now we can go on to the Jobian. We did the Jobian Sour Beast. The Jobian tribesmen. I actually think they're better than the Barlowian tribesmen. How better though? They're kind of just the same. If we're being realistic, they kind of do the exact same thing. Now the version 2 of the Gladiator isn't as fun. In fact, I don't think it's even better in the slightest than the Maktar Resort ones. I actually would bump it down to a B. I think they're not a fun enemy. I think they gave them too much of a buff to the point where they're just boring. That's kind of the problem with a lot of the version 2 stuff. With here, they're all version 1, 2, and 3. They all kind of perfectly match each other. Same thing with these two here with the chicken bots. But like, the version 1 had good balance, but when you just throw the second version in and insanely buff them, I don't think it's as good. I just think it makes them cheap. The enemy's cheap. They're not innovative. You just have to kind of just know the steps you already have to take to defeat them. And they're cheap because of that. Now sometimes, like these ones here, they're good at integrated enemies. But like this guy here, he's way too much stronger, so he just is more of a bullet sponge. Whereas these guys, they kind of match the weapons that you level up with. But that's the problem that we will tend to see with some of these bots here. At least the upgraded versions. Moving on to Tadano. The squirrels, they're fun. I would go ahead and put these guys. I think they're a fun challenge. Especially since we don't see them too often throughout the level. Really just the beginning bits. I'll put them under the blade ball. Make sure I'm going in order here. Ooh, where the fuck are these guys in? What level are these guys in? Oh, I know where they are. Duh. Okay. Let me make sure I'm not a moron here. Okay, yeah. Okay, I just had to make sure. So, we're still on Tadano. They've only added one new enemy, and this is the enemy I think should have been instead of the Joby and Sour Beast. And that enemy, let me actually get the name of this guy here, because this guy doesn't have multiple versions. But the Megacorp Robot Guard, these guys here, I think these are a fun heavy enemy. I think they're better than the Rivetbot and better than probably the Brute. But I think they're better than the Sour Beast, the Vicarian Sour Beast. These I think would have been a perfect replacement instead of these, because they fly, they're still heavy, but they force you to use your weapons. Obviously, they just wouldn't. Maybe you could throw these guys in on like wrench only stuff, but no, I think these guys are great. Moving on, we go to Bolden, right? Yeah, Tadano, Bolden. Yes, we go to Bolden. We get our final round of Thugs for Less villains. At least our final round of upgrades. These guys, virtually the same as their counterparts here. But I'm not going to put them there just because they don't add anything. Same thing with these guys. They just had, 3 more hits to the actual defeating of them. Other than that, they had literally nothing else. Silver City also includes... we missed these guys, the spider bots from Joba. They're boring enemies. I'm going to put them with the Fireflies. They kind of make no sense, too, with the enemies that are in that, now that I think about it. Oh, wait, no. No. There's a spider boss fight. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm a moron. But yeah. They actually kind of combo with Aranos, because these guys appear in Aranos, too. But yeah, moving on to moving on to Aranos, we get these guys again, plus these, so it kind of just brings in back an enemy. Next we got the final flying level. What's the name of it? I'll figure it out eventually. I'll figure it out by the time I have to rank it, that's for damn sure. We get the 4 ships. The ghost ship is probably the worst, but that's technically a boss fight, so I wouldn't even add that in. But these are definitely, I would say, maybe a little bit better than the Saboteurs and the Berserkers. Other than that, it's really just they're just bullet sponges while the smaller guys attack you. Otherwise, you're just hitting rounds into these guys forever. Actually, I would probably lower them then because of that, because they're not even really a threat. They're a threat, but they don't feel as much of a threat within their own debut level as much as the other guys are. So they're kind of go with the Megacorp vehicles here. After that, we go to Snivliak. We get the helicopters. I actually think the helicopters, they're kind of just the same as this guy here. They're maybe a little bit better. I'll put them at the top of D. I'll move this all the way down here. Again, with strafing and the way you can lock on in this game, it makes these tank enemies pretty much useless, especially since they have the same mechanics as they do in Ratchet Clank 1. Maybe not this guy, but the helicopters and the spaceships, of course. They have the new tanks in this one. Oh no, they don't. They have just the. Oh no, they have the new tanks, the commandeered. They work the same. The commandeered tanks, right? Yeah, I like to call them the commandeered because they change into Thugs for Less colors when you're on Snivliak, but who knows? They are still Megacorp tanks. After that, we go to Smog. That's where the Gulcher, the Grulch appears. They're okay, very just mid-tier one-hit enemies. These motherfuckers though, they're actually pretty fun. I think they're a decent enemy type. They gonna go hand in hand with these guys here, the swamp beasts, because they have the same purpose within the level. Moving on though, we go to we actually only have a few left, but we go to the Greblin, and we have the Hypnomatic bots. They're really useless to Ratchet. I mean, you only really think of them when you're fighting them as the Hypnomatic, but they don't really do anything. These guys just spin and these guys just shoot. The shooting guys may be a little more annoying, but they're kind of just, honestly, I'm gonna have to put them here. They're useless, and we don't even get much time with them. But we get the, what is this thing called? The Arctic Leviathan. These guys have the worst lock-on out of any enemy in the game, and it makes them not fun to attack with. I'm gonna put them at a high F. They're bad enemies. They're super easy to dodge, and that makes the skill gap not as hard with them. But their lock-on is terrible. Like, you have to really be aiming a higher up for you to actually get a hit. Technically, you can hit them as long as you're just aiming within like the circle they're in, but a lot of the weapons you have rely on lock-on, especially if you get the mods for that. I think it's just not as fun. It makes it just annoying. But they wouldn't be as annoying if it wasn't for literally the worst enemy in, I think, maybe Ratchet and Clank history. The Yetis. If you know, you know. They're like an 8-hit kill enemy with like any weapon, and they spawn like 40 of them at a time. They're just not worth it. Damosel, we got these guys here. They kind of work in tandem with these guys. I mean, they have the same sort of attack level. Actually, no, I think they're a little better. I would put them up at the high A, because they add a little more challenge, similar to the troopers. I'm actually going to put the Yeetle troopers here as well. The Protopet. Probably one of the best one-hit enemies in Ratchet and Clank. It's challenging enough for the fact that they can consistently respawn themselves. But also, they're just fun to attack. As weird as that sounds. They're a fun enemy to attack. But yeah, I would say this would be, I think this is a solid list for going Commando. I'm kind of trying to fly through it just because I know we need to get into up your arsenal. And this is a longer tier list one because there's a lot of them. So we'll go to the next tier list here.